if the United States, if a Trump administration would be involved, there would be very much the idea of let's get a deal done fast. And let's make sure that, this is truly a peace agreement for which President Trump can take some credit in achieving that. But I think in terms of the outcome, which would be signing the peace agreement, which, by both Yerevan and Baku's own words, is close to being possible. That would be the major U.S. objective. Now, what happens the day after? And someone else had been using this vocabulary. I'm not smart enough to think it, but it's really a good way of thinking. Okay, great. United States, others get their wish. They sign a peace agreement. Well, now what? And I think that's where we would have to see what the future would look like under a Trump administration. I think it would be very heavy on U.S. Private sector involvement in some way in the region, in Armenia, in Azerbaijan, maybe even Georgia if things change there. I'm not sure how, and I think this is something that particularly in Azerbaijan people need to pay attention to, the influence of evangelical Christians in the White House might lead to pressure for the return of the people who left Karabakh at the end of the last fighting. I think I'm not sure how that will play out, but there's a lot of I think there's a lot of talk among Armenian Americans about putting pressure on both Congress as well as the administration. So how I have no idea, how Trump would view that. I do not see the interest being in energy. This is not the 1990s. And you have an administration whose policy is U.S. energy dominance. And so the activity that, a Trump administration would press forward on is increasing U.S. oil and gas exports globally. And so not be a whole lot of interest in, supporting further development of energy in the Caspian region and Azerbaijan in particular. If companies would come in there, fine, but it's not the sort of thing that would be an area that would be promoted. What I would see is high tech, maybe interest in promoting that. Perhaps some interest in developing the middle corridor, though I think that still again it remains to be seen how different the Trump approach would be on that from what the Biden administration was. But I would watch more for that than energy.
And energy would have been the initiative in the past.
Yes. Yeah.